and I do the people's business. But today we have a special honor here to recognize the POWs and the MIAs and the chair to represent that. Ron Hawkins, the president, will talk after Council President Moran. But I just thought it was so fitting that we do this event and this recognition, especially when we see what's going on in our country and around our country now. And the timing is so important. And just to remember how we ended up with our freedoms and our privileges that we have. And so we want to thank you and your organization for keeping the fire under us to make sure that we did these right things. Council President, I know, wants to say a couple words, so I'll turn it over to Dave Moran, and then it's all yours.
Thank you, Mayor. No, I'm definitely honored to be here this evening. I know we have a meeting tied in with it, though, but we had exchanged emails a while back, Mr. Hawkins. But I thought it was a great idea. I talked to Dylan about it, and I know a few other communities are doing this, and hopefully you'll be able to get everybody involved. But I think it's a great thing to remember the POWs and the MIAs, and the MP chair does represent all those people that serve that, and we don't want to ever forget them. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Just to give you a brief outline of what Rolling Thunder, who we are, and what we represent. Back in 1987, two Vietnam veterans were discussing over lunch the fact that there was a lot of POWs and MIAs still missing from returning home from Vietnam. Being their constitutional right, they figured what they would do is they would conduct a civil protest. Well, on Memorial Day weekend, 1988, 1,250 motorcycles converged on Washington, D.C. for the first annual Freedom Run. Since then, moving forward 20-some-odd years, last year there was over 94 chapters of Rolling Thunder throughout the United States, and last year's participation was in excess of 1 million participants in Washington, D.C. one day. Rolling Thunder's got a very simple mission, and I'll keep it simple and paraphrase. Our primary mission is to keep the government aware of the fact that there are POWs, MIAs, and serving this country. It's our duty to keep them to reminding them. Rhode Island, as small as it is, unfortunately, did not get exempt from the wars. Over the last year and a half, 2 years, I've been doing compiling information about KIAs and POW MIAs from the state of Rhode Island. Just the killed in action alone from since World War I, 2,666 persons. There's 109 POWs, many of which during World War II were liberated, but still they deserve the honor of being recognized as a POW. Unfortunately, since World War I, there is 470 missing in action persons. Unfortunately, they will never probably come home again because a lot of them were ships sunk at sea. They may have geographical locations where the ships went down, but bodies will never be recovered. Part of our mission is to educate the public of these issues. And that's why we're here tonight, to honor them with this chair. This chair indicates 91,000, more than 91,000 POW MIAs from around the country, still missing in action. This chair also represents to us members of Rolling Thunder, our brothers and sisters. No matter when or where, there will always be a place for them to come home to. Thank you. With that, city business.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you.
I had a question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. I had a question for you. Did he leave? The mayor.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for serving our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for serving our country. Thank you for serving our country. Thank you very much.
Probably with PCR or something.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Nice job, guys.
Thank you very much.
Betcha. Nice job.
Thank you.
Very nice job.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
President. Nice job.
Notice how they got more footage of me than of them?
I did.
They did?
We go back up.
Sure. Hi, are you Jen? Olivia, nice to meet you.
Right?
Yes,
Nice
yes.
to meet you. Can we do a quick interview?
I'd rather not. I'm here to pay respects to the veterans
Sure.
today.
Okay.
Yes.
I understand. Thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
She wanted to know if I want to do an interview. About what though? I'll ask her what the premise is.
Well, yeah, she's gonna ask questions.
May I ask what the premise? Can I just ask what the premise of the questions are, just so I have
We're just
a...
basically we were gonna ask why you chose to sit down last time, and I know
Okay.
you guys have planned
Okay.
to sit in.
All right, yeah.
Would you be willing to talk to us after this?
I mean, I already have talked to Ten about it, but I mean, I'll give a soundbite. Sure, sure.
That's this group right there, yeah.
Hey Sam, do you mind sticking around? I need to just keep an eye on all the councilmen and see if they're all going up. I need to get back up there so that I don't miss anything.
Oh. Why? You think somebody's going to sneak out?
Well, just keep an eye, so I can get up there and get their minutes too. So we can get there.
This really means a lot to us. Showing support from our organization is really hard nowadays because so many people are afraid of the government and the military. So they also want to. This is the way it is. The police are. We're in the process of working on one of the state houses as well, which is also in legislation has been passed for that. The chair can dedicate just went into Congress. We've already done one in Cumberland, Rhode Island, Portsmouth, Rhode Island, and today we're next working on Providence and North Providence. Thank you so very much.
See you at the State House.
If we could make it quick, they're going back into session.
I'm hoping, Saturday we're going to do a VGR. So hopefully the state will work on that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sam, can you take my camera? Can you record? This can record right now.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? That's it. All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Green Marshals will be Mullen Penny Trotter, and I believe there's a World War II vet that may be included in that too, so it's pretty awesome. So, did I use that word already? Really cool. There'll be a lot of music there at the events. I really would encourage you to encourage the kids, because this is something that we want to build that civic pride and again encourage them in everything that they do. A little note, we're cleaning Mineral Spring Avenue with the firefighters, and our barrel disappeared. I have no idea why the city barrel disappeared off, but somebody remembers seeing the truck go through, That was never replaced. I can't understand why we wouldn't have a city barrel at the Mineral Spring Cemetery like we always have. So somebody took it, and now the trash just goes on the ground. It doesn't make much sense. So hopefully that's just an oversight. We can get that fixed. I know the cemetery falls in Tim's and Mary's area there, so. Also, I just want to say thank you to everybody in the city administration and the council that have donated and helped us so much with this effort. I was telling the kids at Jenks today that we lost count after 1,500 stones that we brought up out of the ground. Many of them are veterans. In the last couple of weeks, Bill and I have found 2 more Civil War veterans that were completely buried and brought them up. And it's just, I never fail to be moved when we're bringing up a vet that's been buried, you know, whose monument is there. So that's it. So I hope that we have, you know, a good turnout. Please, nobody do a rain dance. Come around Memorial Day. We'd like it to be overcast is fine, but hopefully good weather. So thank you. And prayers were answered already. Isn't that incredible? All right, for those flags. And like I said, special thanks to Steve Parrott tonight and Jerry O'Connor for their, even tonight, volunteering some extra effort there. So thank you. And Spirits of 76 group for coming in and helping us lift some very heavy stones in the last week. So thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Next, we have Dimitri Lissakatos.
Hello. Some of you guys may know me. My name is Dimitri Lissakatos. And I came here this evening to discuss the recent incident that occurred at the last city council meeting and set the record straight for our group, Community Response Rhode Island. First of all, as most of you know, we're a group that was formed out of a frustration that resulted from a variety of civil liberty abuses we suffered in the city. Our group is nonpartisan, focuses on direct involvement in local government in order to address issues of accountability and transparency with a goal of promoting liberty and freedom. Above all, we consider every group member to be an individual and respect his or her religious, philosophical, economic, social, and political views in accordance with the protections outlined in the Bill of Rights. At the last meeting, member Joe Hart decided to sit down as a form of protest aimed at the council during the Pledge of Allegiance. As a result of his action, Councilman Wildehane chose to delay the start of the pledge until Joe stood up. Joe, feeling pressured by the delay of the meeting, decided to stand up and turn his back on the council. Now, I've been attending these meetings for about 4 or 5 months now, and I always take the pledge along with the council members. Although I do not approve of Joe's approach to free speech, my understanding of the Bill of Rights and the fundamentals of freedom, liberty compelled me to support him. I believe as an individual, Councilman Wildehane is free to express his views on this matter in any way he chooses, as long as he doesn't violate Joe's rights. But at no time under the banner of councilman does he have the authority to delay a meeting by demanding an individual comply with an order that infringes on his constitutional rights. Looking back, I must admit that Councilman Wildehane's emotional reaction to this form of civil disobedience is not much different than mine would have been 5 or 6 years ago. I held to a form of patriotism that kept me from comprehending the true meaning of liberty, and my awakening has been an ongoing process that has led me to abandon many prejudices, misconceptions, and fallacies I once held. I believe as an individual, Mr. Wildehane is free to express his views in this matter. Oh, I wrote that again over here. Sorry, guys. Besides feeling compelled to support a fellow Americans whose rights were violated under the banner of city government, my main concern were the statements made by the councilman regarding the community response group. He stated that based on Hart's actions, he won't be listening to other members of the group with an open mind. I hope this statement was a knee-jerk emotional reaction and that he will reconsider his view on the issues brought up by our group. I think that he'll be doing a great disservice to his constituents if he wasn't able to separate his emotions from the work in the city. As for a comment that I made to the Valley Breeze referring to the city council as tyrants, I may have overreacted a little bit. I was emotional. And I apologize to you guys for that. And I hope we can put this controversy behind us and work together in defending the rights of the city's residents. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Next, we have Ken Postle Sr.
Good evening, distinguished councilmen and fellow citizens. I hate to say it, but it's been 5 or 6 years since I first addressed the council. There have been new members. The ladies were not there at the time. The first time I addressed this issue was at PAT, which is the Fair Loan Against Crime team, I believe it stands for. It's on fireworks. With the exception of Councilman Hodge and Rudd, I've heard nothing. Fireworks are getting much worse. They're by far getting to be a very serious safety issue. One day, as I was standing at the corner store, I saw 2 grown men chasing each other around a 3-tenant house. And I said to the owner of the store, "What are they doing?" "They're shooting fireworks at each other." "Why not just take a gun?" This is dangerous. This is a safety issue. Last month, 5 times I called in. Fireworks all over the place. This is April. Last night, we had one that went off. You can tell when they're almost under your feet. They were that close. I called in. And I have to commend the police department. They've been terrific. They sent people out when they can. They're chasing a ghost. These people hit, they shoot fireworks off for maybe 10 minutes, and then they're someplace else. Last night, the fireworks started, maybe, say, on Francis Avenue. A few minutes later, they're on my street, Oakdale Avenue. They're coming from cars in all probability, because last year, that was their mode. One of the issues that I have heard is we don't have the money. The police department doesn't have the money. I think hearing about the budget tonight, please, it's a safety issue. Put some money in the budget. I don't want to pay any more in taxes, but if it's a safety issue, we deserve to give the police whatever they need to cope with this issue. Last 4th of July when I called in, they said to me, "It's out of control." The 5th of July went on. I found out after the 4th of July is our Independence Day. The 5th of July, I believe, is Cape Verde Independence Day. Then on the summer, it went on and on. Good Lord, by the time we got to Labor Day, on it went again. Come New Year's Eve, there it is again. It's to the point where they use it at birthday parties, I swear. It's out of control. Please, make a plea. Back the police department up. Enforce the law that we have. I know this, oh, we gotta wait for the new law. Baloney. If you're out in the middle of the ocean with a rowboat and your engine quits, use the oars. Use what you've got. Okay? I just pray that you guys and women roll up your sleeves and pay attention to it. And give it a lot of careful attention. What I have been told now by a representative in the State House is, oh, we can't do anything with it. We're working on the Red Sox deal. The last I knew, public safety is a heck of a lot more important than sports. And with that, I'll leave it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Next, we have Jeremiah O'Connor.
Association. And I come to you tonight after having read an article in the Pawtucket Times with regards to a $1 million tax break. We have a meeting coming up next Tuesday, and I felt compelled to come here tonight to speak to you so that I have an answer, or some kind of an answer for our membership at that meeting next Tuesday. As it stands right now, going back 20 years, the city has shorted the pension fund by some $50 million. So they owe our members some $50 million on the pension fund. To top that off, we are all aware of the fact that the COLAs were suspended. And following that, our members are frustrated, and well should be. The fact that they cut our pension was because the city said that they didn't have any money and that they had to do that. Well, my question to you is, they don't have any money to pay us. How do they give $1 million tax break to an employer? They owe us before anything else. Shouldn't they be paying us? And why shouldn't that money be forthcoming? And you give someone $1 million tax break, a multinational corporation, I believe it is, that their ability to pay is far greater than for us to be shortchanged on money that is considered pay. The federal court and many courts have ruled that pensions are deferred compensation and were negotiated as such. So if you're retired and you're sitting at home waiting for that check to come in and it's reduced, it's like taking money out of your weekly pay. It's the same thing, really. And we represent cops and firefighters, their wives and dependent children, and feel that it's a great injustice. And to do something like this, to give $1 million tax break to a company and leave us sitting out in the cold, is quite unfair. Thank you.
Second Board of License Commission to come to order. Clerk will call the roll.
President Moran. Here. Council Barrett. Here. Council Gray.
Here.
Kano.
Here.
Council Pawt. Present. Council Mercer. Here. Council White. Council Taco. Here. Council Wilkenich. Here. 9 in attendance.
Motion to approve the previous minutes of the meeting held on 4/22 as reported by the clerk.
Motion made by Council Hart, second by Council Barry, that we approve the previous minutes of the April 22nd meeting as prepared by the clerk. Any changes? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the consent agenda and petition for licenses.
Motion made by Council Hart, seconded by Council Barry, that we approve the consent agenda and petition for licenses. Are there any changes or deletions? All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
As requested for a formal hearing, automobile repair shop and second-hand shop licenses, Class A and B, selling used automobiles and parts, Wheaton Street Auto Sales and Service LLC, 616 Wheaton Street, license number 9460 and 9574. Motion to convene the formal hearing.
Motion made by Council Hart, seconded by Council Rudd, that a formal hearing be called. Automobile repair shop and second-hand shop licenses, Class A and B, selling used automobiles and parts, Wheaton Street Auto Sales and Service LLC, 616 Wheaton Street, license numbers 9460 and 9574. Motion is to convene a public hearing. Council Reynolds.
Members of the board, Frank Milos, on behalf of the city of Pawtucket. The city has just one witness, Captain Moon. We'll be very brief this evening. Captain, if you could explain to the board your involvement in the matter of the business known as Wheaton Street Auto, based on police involvement on March 15th of this year.
On March 15th, we had calls to address the business on multiple vehicles parked on the streets. This has been an ongoing issue. Unregistered vehicles, no license plates on the vehicles, and cars parked on the sidewalk.
On that particular day, on March 15th, you weren't actually present that day, correct?
Correct, sir.
There were, how many officers were on scene, as you
I
recall?
believe at least 4 officers were on scene.
And your testimony is that basically what they observed were various unregistered vehicles on the sidewalk, tires, other debris, correct?
Yes, sir.
In addition to that, though, at some point, did the owner of the establishment, the principal of the business, Angel Munoz, appear on site?
The owner of the business did respond.
And what happened?
It was to move one of his vehicles. The employees moved a lot of the vehicles that were on the street. A few of them were ticketed already, and there was a tow truck that was not able to be moved.
And what happened as it relates to the tow truck?
We told him if he didn't get down here and move the tow truck, it would be towed. And then he came down to the building, and this is through the report, and my fellow officer on scene, that he was going to chain himself to the tow truck in order for it not to be towed.
Now, ultimately, no arrests were effectuated, correct?
No, sir, cooler heads prevailed.
And ultimately, you did allow the tow truck to be moved to the back portion of the property?
It was towed to the back portion of the property and left it.
Now, this particular incident on this day is not the only time, though, that you've received phone calls regarding this business, correct?
Correct.
And has it basically been the same concerns, the same issues?
Yes, it's all been motor vehicle issues like that, overcrowding on the street and unregistered vehicles.
Now, on the day in question on March 15th, is it fair to say that when the police did in fact arrive, all of the vehicles, all of the unregistered vehicles, including the tow truck, were able to be moved from their illegal sites? Is that correct?
Correct.
In fact, all of the cars, except for the tow truck, were actually able to be moved to the interior of the business. Is that fair to say?
Yes, either the interior of the business or parked legally on the streets.
Okay. That's all I have of Captain Newman. I will represent, though, to the board that as a result of this incident, certainly Mr. Goldstein can speak for himself, but it's been brought to my attention, which is the reason why it was added to the summons, that he actually acted a step further, Mr. Goldstein did. He contacted the Division of Motor Vehicles and actually came to find out that despite the fact that this particular license holder has a secondhand shop license, Class A and B, he doesn't actually have a Rhode Island dealer's license. In preparation for this evening, I actually placed a call into Kevin Rabbit at the DMV, and he confirmed that for at least a year and a half that this business has been in operation. They have not had, they do not have today, and they have not ever had a Rhode Island dealer's license. So I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention as well.
Council Reddick?
Again, I know the license holder and property owner are here, so I'll defer to questions to them at this point unless the board has questions of the captain or myself.
Any questions? Thank you. Frank,
Yes.
If they don't have the license from DMV, could they be operating?
Well, I mean, they can certainly operate, from what I understand, as an auto repair shop business. The secondhand shop license, as explained to me by the clerk, has the A and the B component. The A component would be for the sale of used vehicles. The B component would be for the sale of used parts. Now, typically, businesses that do deal with auto repair service will typically have the B component, correct, Rick, of the secondhand shop license. Because usually in stock and trade, they sell used parts. But they really, it seems to me that there's probably no need to have the Class A component because